High today, well, we're past it. Weatherman says 19 degrees. I'm saying 25 degrees today. I think we're going to get there. Barbara and our on-air producer, Not Enough, both at 27. Be an interesting find if we get there. It's Wednesday and middle of the week too, by the way. Also April the 24th, and today, believe me, very, very excited. But before we do that, let me do this. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and nice to have everybody on board this morning. It really, really is. No matter where in the world you are, so very happy to have you. If you're a first-time viewer, listener, why not subscribe? Become part of the family. And we call it the noise here at Galaxy simply because you do have a voice. You do, really. And we really, really get it. We get all forms of media, from emails to phone calls, you name it. We get it, and we listen. And that's pretty much how we structure a lot of our shows here at Galaxy, is because of you guys and how you vote and how you request certain artists, certain songs, right? So do that. So why not sub, thumb, bell? Bell notifications for when we have important people, much like coming out of Stirling, Ontario today. We have Dan Washburn, who is a good friend of ours, yes, and also a pilot. We've got something in common there. Having said that, subscribe. Yeah, you know what to do there, don't you? Do that. If you can't, get hold of Barbara, and she'll take you through. It's pretty painless, it is. And the thummy thing, you know what to do with that, don't you? Get epileptic with it. You know, like you've got an electric shock going through your chair. You know what I mean? You do. William Hughes O'Dell is watching. Nice to have you on board, William. It really, really is. Barbara Harkin's got to watch out for her. She's watching as well. Strange that the boss hasn't started tuning in yet. Maybe she will. You never know. But I tell you what, let's kick it off with Dan Washburn coming out of Stirling, Ontario. Featuring Holly Ashbury too, by the way. Here's Out of the Blue on Galaxy. So that gives us a couple of minutes to catch up, my friend.
Yeah, buddy. So what else did you do when you were over there in India?
I will tell you literally all about it after we finish this. I really, really will.
You're killing me here. I can't wait. Yeah.
It's really involved, but my God, you'll be surprised at what the turnout is going to be. You know what I mean? But having said that, my friend, if you want something to take your mind off it, I've got something for you. If we're not supposed to drink and drive, why the hell do they put car parks at the pub?
They're for the staff only.
Oh, is that what it is? Jesus, I hope they don't have a lot of stuff. Christ. They must have a huge amount of staff.
Oh, that's a good point.
I see Marcel Louis is joining us, coming out of Hamburg, Germany, and he's going to be our next interview. So, Marcel, countdown is really, really getting in there now, isn't it? I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Hey, Drake. Any more music?
Drake?
Yeah.
Drake Jensen?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Very cool. Nice to have Drake Jensen on board as well. So, what have you been up to lately, Dan?
Apart from them.
Well, I was mentioning earlier, I've been in the sugar bush with the family. We did a bunch of maple syrup. It was a 6-7 week project. It was pretty intense, a lot of work. And we tapped just over 100 trees, and you're doing that every day, boiling it down, making batches. So all those boxes behind me, 50 some gallons, I guess it is.
Wow.
And we made, a lot of maple syrup for the family.
You guys
writing.
You guys would be sticky as hell, wouldn't you?
Well, you are for a little bit there.
Yeah,
you have to wear a bunch of old clothes for the bush.
Believe me, you'd have flies just get and sticking to you. You'd be like that flypaper stuff. Man, that would That's cool.
Yeah.
Hi, Wolf.
Let's go live to the desk, my friend.
Okay.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and today joined by a very, very good friend of ours. I think we've known him for about going on 60 years now, is of course Dan Washburn. Dan, welcome back to Galaxy.
Thanks, Grant. Thank you, Barbara. It's been a while since we've chatted, I guess about a year or so.
Something like that, yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been a good year, though. Been busy, back and forth to Nashville a bit. I was over to Holland in the last summer, and over to Ireland, did some writing over there. Was at the award show for what they call the Red Carpet Awards in Holland. That was fun. Come back with a little bit of hardware there. And so I got nominated for a bunch of stuff for this year. And I got, when I was over there, I got connected with a German writer. She's actually an author. Manuela Schneider is her name, and she's quite an accomplished author. She has, I think, 20-some books on Amazon. If you went on to Amazon, you'd find all of her books. And she's very well accomplished, a good writer. She's an award-winning writer. Anyway, she approached me and said, I'm wanting to try my hand at writing a song. I write books. And I said, okay. She said, well, we like your performances, and we like the way you conducted yourself, and meaning she and her husband, and he said, the Canadian guy, go see him. So they came to me, and her English is very good, and we connected up and did a session, and we wrote 3 songs together, and actually the current single, This Old Barn, is one of the songs that we wrote.
That's very cool, because believe me, it's getting requested, and I'm going to be honest with you, almost every morning in my breakfast show I see This Old Barn in the lineup.
It's just an old school country song about growing up. We all grew up in the country. She did it, I did, and we had a lot of commonality. And she mentioned, you know, when you go through the writing process and you sit down and you go through a couple of ideas for titles, and she had some ideas written down, of course, being a writer. And she went like, I want about an old barn idea, and I went, oh, I'm in. So we wrote that thing in a couple of hours. I think we tweaked it a day or two later, and we were done. It was very good. She's a really good lyricist, and she didn't even know how good. And so I just had to tweak it into fitting with the music. And then, you know, added my 2 cents to it. I come up with all the music for it, and then I went down to my guys in Nashville, my team, and, you know, my guys down there, Chris Lusinger and the squad, and we had a lot of fun doing it.
Very, very cool. Now, I don't want to get too much into This Old Barn just yet, Dan, simply because we opened up the show with Out of the Blue. And I would like to know a little bit more about Holly Ashby.
Oh, Holly. Holly and I have been writing together for a number of years. And I took a buddy down, Casey Carter from Canada. He used to be on MCA Records here. And Kenny and I went down, and I'm producing a project for him because I'm doing a lot more producing these days. So I was producing for Kenny, and I said, we're going to go write with Holly, one of my favorite people to write with. I just love her to bits. She's a beauty inside and out. And so we went over to her place, and we're writing. She had and then we went back to where we were staying for a second, later on, and I don't know where it came from. It might have come from her, but it was like, it might have been me. Out of the blue, it was just this idea about how this love, I found this love just out of the blue, randomly, and there it was. And so the 3 of us were in the room, and the 3 of us, Kenny wrote it with us, and I had the idea for the music, like, just came very quickly, and then Holly and I went to town, and Kenny was trying to keep up with us, because when you get on it, couple of old writers like us, you know, that have been doing it, and we've been writing together, so we know each other's. We actually, you know, think alike, and it was fun. And Kenny got in there with a bit on a couple of lines, and we had a lot of fun. And then, so I went in the studio and we cut it, and I loved the way it came out. And I said to her, I was listening to our work tape on the little iPad. You know, you take your iPad and you just record it in the room. And I listened to she and I sing it. And I was doing the harmony to it with her. And I went, I think this song could be a duo, like a duet. She's like, really? I said, yeah. She said, I never thought of that. I said, well, listen to it again. She listens to it. She says, I think you're right. I said, you want to do a duet? And so I got her to sing it with me.
You know, I absolutely do love this track. I really, really do. And it does get quite a bit of airplay here at Galaxy. Got to say hi to Michael Zdanowitz coming out of Orlando, Florida. Of course, Galaxy Class Entertainments. If you want anything done with your band or anything like that, get hold of Michael Zdanowitz. I'm sure he'll take care of you. Now, I got to be honest with you. I see a lot of your work coming out of the UK. It's more over out of Ireland right now. I see people like Steve Ballor promoting you, also Curtain Call Records. Now, no, not Curtain Call Records.
Country
it was
music, social media.
Country music, social media. That's right. They're all the same.
Right. Ken Meakin.
Yeah, exactly. Now, who the hell are you with?
Well, Ken Meakin does some advertising for me. He handles some of the social media work over there. And I write with about 7 or 8 people in Ireland. And I've recorded a duet with Lynn Campbell, who's brilliant. Regina McDermott and I write a fair bit together. Actually, I got a major cut with a fellow by the name of Daniel O'Donnell. And he's about as big as they get in Ireland in his type of music. And Regina and I wrote a song called God Has Angels, and it took a year to get it to fruition, but Daniel cut it. My wife and I went down, Mary Ellen and I went down to Pennsylvania in the fall, November, when you were gallivanting around your part of the world. We went down there and met Daniel at a big show that he puts on. He was doing about a month and a half, 2-month tour of the U.S. He's quite a big name, and it was just quite an honor to get a cut like that. And I was really struck by how nice a man he is, and he made mention in the show when he did the song, and he remembered my wife's name. He met her once a couple hours earlier, and he remembered her name, and I remember thinking, like, what a cool guy. This guy is a really neat man, like, to do that, to remember that. So that was good. So a lot going on in Ireland. I'm looking to go back, hopefully, this year, right with Steve McVie. Steve McVie's a buddy, and Noel Boland. You know, I've done some writing with Noel. Hopefully, we're going to write with both of those lads again. Regina McDermott, Lynn Campbell. We want to do some more writing. I'm going to be writing with a new person to me, Mary Gundry, I think it is. Mary, don't give me trouble. I'm sorry, hon, I forgot your last name. But that's a new write coming up in the next couple of weeks. I'm just waiting my hand to get healed up a bit.
You know something right there, Dan, it does prove that you're actually human. It really does. Got to say hi to Sonny Morgan as well. Looking forward to meeting you on Friday, my friend. I really, really am. And got to say thank you for tuning into a lot of these Facebook Lives that you've been following just lately. We have noticed. Randy Lotta is joining us as well, coming out of the band Renzita in Texas. And believe me, great pleasure to have you on board. Also, Jeremiah Ash is in the house. Nice to have you on board, my friend. It really, really is. Loving your work right now as well. Now, this old barn, believe me, this track is getting requests. I see this every morning in the lineup for my breakfast show. And really, I've got to ask you, what's the secret to the success of this track?
I have no idea. It's just a song we wanted to do. I heard it. Manuela does not write any music. And when she said this old barn, and I said, let's write it, I'm all over this. Because I grew up in a farm, and I grew up in a barn, and we did everything. I mean, you learn a lot of stuff. You learn how to carry on, cuss, swear, drink, fight with your brothers, jump off of the friggin' rafters up in 25 feet in the air into the haymow. I mean, we did all of that. Just all of it. Right? And I think might have had a girl or two in there. I can't remember such thing.
As you do.
Anyway, maybe. And my wife's not home yet, but no, I can do it.
you can admit it. I won't tell everybody.
So Manuela and I are talking about all this. We're laughing our arses off because it's because we grew up in that environment. And I just heard it as being like a real kind of Americana, old school, just nothing no bells and whistles, just a really nice track. And I had the melody hit me, and then I started to play it. And Manuela, she knew writing with anybody, and she said, "Where did you get that melody from?" And I said, "I wrote it." She said, "When?" I said, "Just now. This is what we do." And she was like gobsmacked and said, "Wow, this is really good. I'm glad I'm writing with you." And we wrote the song in a couple of hours.
Well, I got to be honest with you, my friend. We have been getting requested this out of orbit here at Galaxy. It's just, it's made a connection with our audience. So, ladies and gentlemen,
I'm so glad.
you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, joined live by Dan Washburn, the man himself, good friend of ours too, by the way. Here is This Old Barn. Gosh, it's hot in here. How you feeling, Dan? You okay?
Yeah, I just took a round of pain pills. I'm good.
Okay, fair enough, fair
I
enough.
have to take 4 pills for pain every 6 hours.
Yeah, and then you got to take an extra couple because you're putting up with me, right?
And you're the easy part.
Yeah, yeah. You take care of that hand of yours, won't you?
Yeah, I was in the hospital today with it, so it's quite warm. I've got an infection in the epidermis in the skin. Well, it's weird.
Oh, dear idea.
My skin reacted to whatever the shite is they put on you to sterilize, to clean you.
Yep.
Disinfectant or whatever before they cut into your hand.
Okay.
And I guess my body didn't like it.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I don't get on well with a lot of the medical products that, well, I don't know that they still have them, but they used to. Like morphine and shit like that, excuse my language, stuff like that, makes my skin go orange peel.
Yeah, I did that. It did that at first, and then it went to an infection. That's
Yeah.
funny you would say that. When I had this hand done, nothing happened like that. Nada. And I didn't need the pain pills only for a few days. I was out working on the back deck. After a week, I wasn't supposed to, but I was. My wife was giving me trouble. And this one was fine, but this one's been a real problem. And I don't know. I mean, I hope it clears up soon. If it doesn't, I'm going to just cut it off, because it hurts a lot.
Well, I tell you what, if you're going to cut it
I'm
off,
a man and I'm a whiner.
if you're going to cut it off, box the hand in a nice decorative box with a bottle of that stuff and send it to me, and we'll call it, you know, a helping hand from...
We'll do it. We'll do it.
That would be funny. I'd love to see customs go through that one.
Yeah, it'll be funny.
Let's see the person that opens the box.
That's right. You're right here at Galaxy on 107 FM. Sean Simpson is watching. Nice to have you on board, Sean. It really, really is. Dan, I've got to let you know, strangely enough, Monday mornings, there's more requests for that than any other day of the week.
Really?
Yeah, that's because we play you on a Sunday. And well, it plays on the Sunday in the country show, and people seem to hook into that. And before you know it, I'm coming into work on a Sunday night, about 10:30 at night, and here's all the stats, literally, and your name is quite prominent on a, you know, so Monday morning, we have to put you in the, at least in the Monday morning show, you know what I mean?
That's great.
Mm.
Oh, that's really nice. I'm really glad. I'm glad people like it and resonate a bit with it. I mean, that was my life growing up as a kid, you know. And it's just a real natural song for me. It wasn't hard to write because Manuela and I both grew up with an old barn out behind the house.
You know, I fully understand. I really, really do. I sort of part-time grew up on a farm. Part-time grew up in a town, and we owned a farm, so it was backwards and forwards all the time. Dawn Ricks is watching as well. Nice to have you on board, Dawn. It really, really is. Looking forward to catching up with you in the near future as well. Now, got to ask you, Dan, anything new in the can? Anything coming up?
Oh my gosh, you know there is. You know that there is. Yeah, I've got about 6 songs, and it's always the same old issue for me. I've got one coming out soon. I've got to literally put them up, names of them up on a dartboard and throw a dart with a blindfold on, because I don't know what the heck to release next. There's 3 or 4 that I really like. So I'm going to bounce them off a couple of people. You know what I'll do? I'll send you down 2 or 3 of them, and I'll get you to give me the feedback, see which one you like. Sometimes I'll do that. I got a Kevin Byrne in Ireland. I'll bounce it off him. And a fellow that I released with Steve Bloor in Ireland. All my releases go out of Steve Bloor Music and Media, and I'll send it down to you and see what you guys. You know what's surprising? We'll probably all pick the same 1 or 2.
yeah, quite possibly. Much respect for Steve Bloor too, by the way. When you catch up with him, you know, give him a big hello from us. We love the work he does.
Steve's a good man, and I'm glad he's sending down to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We get a lot of work coming out of his promotional company. We really do. So.
He's got a big, very, very big company over there. I met Steve, and we shot a couple of videos together, and no, he's been just a good guy to have in your corner, you know.
Nice. Well, we are going to have to wrap it up right now, my friend, but I am looking forward to catching up with you again in the near future. Thanks for being a friend over the last number of years, and looking forward to having another 10, 20, 30 years. You never know what's coming up. By the way, we celebrated our 10th birthday just last month.
Wow.
Yeah.
10 years already.
Yeah.
Well, I've been part of it for, 6?
Yeah, easily 6. Easily 6, my friend. So.
My gosh. Well, happy birthday.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell you about what's coming next after we sign off here. I really am.
Sure.
Because you're going to love it. You are. In the meantime, folks, have a very happy and successful day, but don't go anywhere, because just after 11 a.m. New Zealand Standard Time, I think it's about 1:15 in the morning in Hamburg, Germany, we're going to be joined by Marcel Louis, and I'm looking forward to meeting this man. I really, really am. So hang in there. But in the meantime, happy radio, everyone.